In this video, we're going to be talking about why real men should not be afraid to admonish people. Notice I didn't say shame, and why it's going to help you guys, especially with women, if you're willing to do this. I'm John from BulldogMindset.com, and on this channel, I teach you how to be a man. I teach you how to build financial independence, how to get the physique you want, how to get the girls that you want, and how to go from the victim mindset to what I call the Bulldog mindset. If that sounds like something you are interested in, click that subscribe button. We're all about developing ourselves, developing mental toughness, becoming the best versions of ourselves. As a man, when you see some behavior that you dislike, you should be willing to tell the person about that behavior and that you dislike it. The place where you're going to see this most often, for most of you guys, is going to be in relationships with a woman, or not even in a relationship, but in the relationship dynamics of it. You could sit there on your date and be like, oh, ha ha, yeah, that's funny, yeah, that boss, yeah, yeah, that's good, you didn't do any work and you still got paid for it, ha ha, the joke's on them. But I'm gonna guess, right, for most of you, that's against your principle. There's two ways to handle this. You might think as a guy, you might say, well, you know what, I don't really want to ruffle any feathers or offend anyone, and I don't want to be disagreeable, I want to be a nice guy. And so I'm just going to go along with it and just laugh at it and just agree with her. That's the wrong move, guys. That's where you need to do some admonishment. That's where you need to say, you know what? I can't agree with you there, Susie. I don't think that's good. I don't think that's something that you should be proud of. And she's going to flip the fuck out. She's going to be like, what? What do you mean? How dare you judge me? Like, I don't know. That's just what I think about it. You know, that's how it is. And you're going to hold your frame in that case. Most likely, she's going to now switch to seeking your approval rather than trying to get you. What you're doing is trying to seek her approval. And this is just one scenario, okay? It could be happening when you're talking to a friend. It could be happening when you're talking to a boss, spouse, coworker, whatever it is. If someone says something that you dislike, you should be willing to show your disapproval. I want it to be very clear that you as a man need to be able to stand for something and to not sacrifice your integrity just to be liked or to get someone else's approval. That's approval seeking. It's a higher level principle. It's what it means to be a man. And a man means to stand for something. A man needs to stand for something. A man needs to have principles. And so when you don't have principles, when you're willing to throw out those principles just for the approval of others, you're not gonna be a man. You're not gonna be very masculine. And a lot of you guys, you're gonna find that even when you have a girlfriend, when you're in a relationship with a woman, and she says something, or maybe you're talking over text, and she says, oh, you know, I got fucking wasted last night, and I blacked out drunk. You can like laugh and be like, ah ha ha, that's so funny, so cool, right? Or you can be like, hey, what the fuck? That's not cool. I don't think that's very cool. It's not cool to, it doesn't impress me that you got wasted last night and blacked out drunk and everyone thought you were the life of the party. That's not impressive. It's not to be a fucking jackass. Like, don't take this as a license to go around telling people all the fucking wrong things they're doing or to shame people. Shaming is calling people out for shit based on a moral higher ground, okay, and trying to make them feel bad about themselves, especially in the presence of others. Part of lifting people up is telling them when they've done something wrong. It's not just giving your approval out. Someone who gives their approval out like it's candy is not someone who you want to have. Their approval has no value. You should be conservative with your approval, and you should give your disapproval when it's necessary. What's going to happen a lot of times when you do this, people are not going to take this in the best way. You're not going to get an instant, kudos on that. You're not going to get some candy, okay? People aren't going to say, oh man, I'm so glad that you're such a man of your fucking principles and you can express disapproval. They will be angry. They will be upset. They will storm out of the fucking restaurant and say, you're a fucking asshole, but they will respect you. And most of the time, they're going to come back and they're going to trust you. Do you trust someone who tells you what you want to hear? Do you trust someone who always says that you're right when you know you're wrong? So stop playing it so fucking safe with the relationship with people. Be the man that you're going to be, okay? Sometimes when you do this, sometimes when you express your disapproval, people are going to end relationships with you. That's fine. A lot of you ask me all the time, how do I stop being a nice guy? This is one of the best ways. Take a piece of paper and write down, what are your values? What are your principles? Okay, what are your standards? What are your boundaries? What will you allow people to say to you? What will you not allow people to say to you? And you need to be very clear about this. You need to know where you stand. It's not a license to just like, to be a dick and to feel like everyone has to agree with you. They don't have to agree with your opinion. But you need to call out things that are violations of your principles. When someone does something that's fucked up. Someone says something that you don't like politically, that's not the same thing. You don't need to fucking call them out on Facebook and be like, oh, you're such a fucking dick. You know, or you don't even need to disagree with them. You can just ignore that shit. But when someone does something fucked up, that's a totally different thing. That's where you have to be willing to admonish. That's where you have to express your disapproval as a man. And that's how you get out of the nice guy. You're a respectable man. And that's the big difference. And people will see that. And they'll see that, they'll learn that about you within a few minutes of having a conversation with you. The way that you carry yourself, the way that you interact with people is drastically different. Because they know that you might be diplomatic, but when they cross lines, when they cross boundaries, they know they're not gonna fuck with you. And that's the key. If you have a problem doing this, it's hard. It's not easy, okay? Have you fucked up relationships? Have you fucked up situations because you're afraid to stand up, because you're afraid to admonish someone? Let me know. Leave a comment below. Click that subscribe button if you haven't already. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.